Hi, it's Phil Kelly. So this is the program number 2 of 2 programs. We just made the first one. And Rod and I have been having a good talk, even talking about.
Well,
This is
thank you,
Senator
Phil.
Rod Tam.
I appreciate being here, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah. And how many years were you senator? You were a senator for
I
a
was
while.
a senator for 8 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was a House Representative member from 1982 to 1994. And then 8 years as a senator, and then 8 years after that as a city council.
Wow, 3 times 8.
Right, and 28 years. And people ask me, why did I move from the state legislature to the city? Well, because I want to take care of the everyday affairs. And mainly was our infrastructure, roads. And 8 years I was able to complete all the infrastructure needs and water lines, sewer lines.
In your community.
In my community,
in your
and
district.
the roads.
Yeah.
But what happened after I left in 2010, the city didn't maintain the roads. Now it's in bad shape again.
They need you back.
Well, when they don't take care of the year by year,
Yeah.
then what happened, it deteriorates even more and costs more to repair.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the losers are the taxpayers right now.
Yeah.
Because they pay more than they should have to pay.
The more things are postponed with the
Right.
high inflation, it costs more money the longer
Right.
they wait.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like having an automobile. You don't change your automobile oil every quarter, and you let it go for 1 whole year, 2 years. Well, sooner or later, you have to buy a new engine.
Yeah, especially if you run low on oil or low on water. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, maintenance is important.
Yeah.
So we were talking about reasons why you believe judges should be elected and not appointed.
Yes.
Because it helps prevent having corrupt judges who are supporting the organized crime. Yeah.
Yes. We have a constitution where you're supposed to have 3 separate powers of government.
Okay.
And it start off with that, whereby you have an elected governor, you have an elected legislature, and you also have an elected judiciary, separate branch.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you don't have that in Hawaii. Unlike California. California has elected judges based on confirmation whether they're doing a good job or not.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And if you're not doing a good job, and of course, I got to say this, the judges in California cannot campaign at all.
Oh.
They cannot raise money, political money, so there's no, how you say, kickbacks,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
Or
yeah,
favoritism,
favoritism.
right? So we don't have a balanced government here. And I can tell you why. With my past experience as a senator for 8 years, I had the opportunity to confirm appointment of 3 judges. One was Russell Blair. He was a colleague of mine in the state senate.
Yeah.
And the governor appointed him to be a district court judge.
Uh-huh.
Well, what happened is I voted against him because he wiretapped himself against fellow Senator James Akey, and was for political reasons.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I know James Akey.
Yeah,
James Akey was for the people.
Right, and a very true Christian.
Yeah.
But anyway, wiretapping is illegal in Hawaii. Right? So I voted against Russell Blair.
Yeah.
And I stood on the floor and I said, why? How can we anoint a judge for the state of Hawaii who does illegal things?
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, he got in because of our colleagues there, and majority rules, and he knew the other senators, so a little favoritism there. And then there was another judge, whereby, what was his name now? Japanese, in circuit court. I can't think of his name offhand, but what happened is I had called the Judiciary Selection Commission of the state of Hawaii and asked if they had any criteria. They said, oh, we don't have criteria, as long as they have a license to practice in Hawaii.
Wow.
Okay, so what happened is I interviewed him, because I was told all you can do is interview. Okay, so I interviewed him, seemed to be okay. But lo and behold, I didn't feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
because there's no criteria. Everybody has their own
Yeah.
criteria,
Oh boy.
right? Um, so anyway, he got in, and today when I see him on the road, I doubt whether I will vote for him again because I've seen him in action.
Yeah, what they
Yeah.
do. You know them by what
yeah.
they do.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He was a circuit court judge, a Japanese guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one. And his name was Chang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, circuit court again. He got nominated by the governor, and I called the Judiciary Selection Commission again, and they said we don't have criteria. So I interviewed him, and I remember now his name is Gary Chang,
Mm-hmm.
and it so happened. Hey, Gary Chang, it sounds a familiar name. Is that the Gary Chang I went to school with at Corner Core Intermediate School?
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him, and I said, I want to interview you, and he mentioned, is this Rod Tam, my classmate? I said, yes, it
Right.
is. So we interviewed, and most of the time during my interview at the office in State Capitol was about old days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he said, how come you became a senator? You're such a quiet person. I said, well, I had bad experiences in government, and
Mm-hmm.
so I became more active.
Yeah.
Like, basically,
It toughened you up
It
so you
toughened
can
me
try
up,
to
yeah.
make things happen the right way.
Yeah. So what happened, and I confirmed his appointment, but by two means.
To what?
By two means, basically,
Mm-hmm.
there's no criteria,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
there's no criteria of the people vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
They have no say
Yeah,
so.
right. So I really believe that there should be elected judges.
Yeah. And if they're
Very
doing
similar
bad,
like California.
yeah, if they're doing bad, they're going to lose
Yeah.
the next time. It
Right.
should be for a period of
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Right.
Like how long do they stay in when they're appointed? The rest of their life or what?
Well, they get confirmation reviewed, and if they play ball, then they continue to get in, right? And,
I see.
yeah, and then also too, the judges are obedient who get appointed to those who have power over them,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot of backroom deals, one would say,
Yeah. Yeah.
in terms
Yeah.
of concluding the case.
Oh.
Favoritism, not based on the law at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I've seen it
Yeah.
too. Yeah. And who knows
Yeah.
where the money's flowing and how
Right.
it's flowing.
Right? It's
Well,
really terrible.
There's a Bible verse, okay?
Go ahead.
And it talks about crooks and how what happens when crooks persecute innocent people who are trying to help other people. God wants us to help other people. That's what God wants, right?
Right.
We
right.
help one another. So this is in Proverbs. You could put up the thing. There it
Yeah.
is. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 15 through 19. And it concludes with something very radical. Because the false teachers in religion, they say, oh, God loves you. God loves everybody. And God does love mankind.
Right.
But God also, it says we're supposed to even love our enemies. That's why we don't take revenge. But
Right.
it said, let God's wrath do it. And when we don't take revenge, but we see God take revenge, oh boy,
Yeah.
here it talks about that. So it talks about criminals. You know them by what they do. When they're persecuting people who are doing the right thing, you know whose side they're on. When you see judges, we read this verse before in the last program, but it says, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent. When you see judges doing that,
Right.
acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, the Lord detests them both. That's serious. That's Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15. But now I'm going to read this one that's on the screen. And you know who's a criminal by what they do. It says, verse 12. Oh, starting in 12. Okay. A scoundrel and villain who goes about with a corrupt mouth, who winks with his eye, signals with his feet, and motions with his fingers, who plots evil with deceit in his heart. He always stirs up dissension. So we're getting it in context. Therefore, disaster will overtake him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. When you're getting persecuted and people threatening your life,
Right.
and then we don't take revenge, but if God takes revenge and somebody trying to control people by fear, threatening their lives, being a criminal, they end up dead. Because God can do it. We don't have to. We don't do it, you know. So, verse 16, there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. You know, look how many, we do more abortions than anybody, you know.
Right.
Innocent blood. And even partial birth abortion after, well, the full-term baby's being born,
Sure.
they can kill the baby. They made that law.
Wow.
They can do it. They can kill a baby while it's being born, a full-term baby, and it's okay. A heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil. And verse 19, God hates a false witness who pours out lies, and God hates a man who stirs up dissension among brothers. So we all got to think we don't want to be the kind of person that God hates.
Right. Right.
and there's a lot more in the Bible on this subject. You guys can read the whole book of Proverbs.
Yeah.
When anybody's having trouble, they're getting persecuted for helping people, you read the whole book of Proverbs. If you read 1 chapter a day, there's only 31 chapters in 1 month. You go through the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
And you see about foolish people and people with wisdom and why it's important to get wisdom so you make good decisions, so you get blessings instead of consequences, yeah? But sometimes when you do the right thing and you get the criminals trying to terrorize people, control them through fear, which you see that
Right.
in political arena.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
Oh, yeah.
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 And you're still trying to do the right thing. So I got to commend you. And
Oh, thank you.
And why don't you tell what areas are involved in 13 where you're
Oh,
running?
okay.
Because I don't even know.
Okay, District 13 encompasses the area of Ivaley,
Okay.
of Liliha,
Okay.
Aleva Heights, the lower part of Aleva Heights, also Nuuanu,
Mhm.
then Pacific Heights,
Mhm.
Pauoa,
Mhm.
then Punchbowl,
Yeah.
downtown, and Chinatown.
All right.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I come from a 4-generation family
Yeah.
that lived on Liliha Street and Nuuanu, and currently I live with my family in Pauoa Valley.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, Rod. That's awesome. So we were talking before we went on the air
Right.
about the organized crime. What the organized crime is doing now, they're stealing houses.
Right.
Real estate, stealing real estate, that's a big money thing. So you get a community association with a collection agency like Porter McGuire, and they go to the legislature. Did you know they go to the legislature, Porter McGuire?
Oh,
Jennifer Porter, her husband, they lobby. I don't even know if they have a license to lobby. You have to have a license to be a lobbyist, right?
right,
You
right.
have to be registered
Right,
lobbyist.
you're right.
So we need to find out if they're...
Unless you're doing it individually on your own.
Yeah,
as a
so it's a
citizen,
law
yeah.
firm though. And don't these people who lobby, do they sometimes help the legislators
Oh,
write they help
Whatever
them
they
write it?
contribute to legislators, they're supposed to register that.
The
a
money
dollar
they
amount.
pay.
Right.
Yeah, but do they write the legislation sometimes? Do they help them write the legislation they want to get
Yeah,
passed?
you know,
They write it
Some of
themselves.
them influence legislators.
They help them
Yeah,
write it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
So
it's unfortunate that many legislators get donations from them.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the
Yeah.
money talks. Yeah.
And especially if you're incumbent, right? I never received really any money from any lobbyists. My way of generating campaign money was Kiawe barbecue chicken. We used to sell about 7,000 pieces of chicken.
All right.
Yeah.
Chicken is good.
Chicken is good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was not obligated to lobbyists. I was obligated to people out there in the community.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because they're the ones that bought the chicken.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine in Makakilo,
Right.
old people, they target old people.
Mm.
He missed a payment. The community association, he has a house,
Right.
big house, not a condominium, not a townhouse, and the community association, Polyhill Community Association, does nothing for him. All they do is charge him a fee and harass people.
Yeah.
So when you're old like that, they become a target sometimes.
Yeah.
These people are old. And what happened is somehow there was a $40 extra fee that they failed to pay for whatever reason. So when they found out, they get a lawsuit in the mail for $5,000
Wow.
for court costs and attorney's fees to collect $40. And they said, what is this? I'll pay the $40. They said, no, you have to pay $5,000. And if you fight it, Porter McGuire is in the legislature lobbying and getting laws written that says if you fight the community association, you have they want the judge to award them court costs and attorney's fees. So that's why they charge $5,000 right off the bat. They do this all day, every day. That's all they do is steal houses, and they're professional criminals. Those who are stealing houses are professional criminals.
You know, that piece of legislation whereby he and his wife are producing two legislators doesn't embrace due justice.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Due justice is one whereby you take legal action whereby, in fairness, like in the case that you just mentioned, it shouldn't automatically be a lawsuit. It should be in terms of due process of justice, whereby notification first, right?
Yeah.
And if the person refuses, then you go to the court of law.
And but to sue for $5,000 to collect $40, that's unreasonable. So they say that's when he hired an attorney, paid the attorney money, fought it in court. So that they drag it out for a couple of years. That's what they always do. They like to drag it out. Every time they write something or do something, it's the same thing they do to everybody. It's the same boilerplate paperwork, and they charge them $200 or $300 an hour, court costs and attorney's fees. They jacked my friend's $40 bill up to $15,000, got a lien from the judge. I mean, they got a judgment from the judge and a lien on his house for $15,000. They foreclosed his house for $15,000, and they bought his house for $15,000. They end up with the house, everything, the mortgage, any equity, and now they can house and keep the money, or they can sell the house and keep the money. And Polyhua Community Association would not even tell me how many houses they've taken away from people like that. With Jennifer Porter from Porter McGuire, who is a collection agency for Polyhua Community Association. They took plenty of houses, and there's a big class action lawsuit against them for doing non-judicial foreclosures and everything else.
You know, it tells me basically they're making people homeless.
Yeah, and you know what happened to my friends? They're old. You know what happened after they took his house and they kicked him out? He rented a little place down in Pearl City. He had a stroke. He's so stressed out he had a stroke. Now he's learned how to talk again, he's walking with a walker. His wife was so stressed out, her immune system got bad. She had all these growths come out in her abdomen, had all this surgery. She just had surgery again 2 weeks ago. And I was helping them with their therapy. They did the same thing to us.
That's why when you think about it, did you know that nationwide, our judicial system, in terms of respectability and fairness, is rated as a D+. D as in dog.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Honesty and so forth, and due diligence is rated as a D+.
And if you get criminals stealing houses and working and they're helping the guys that they pay money write the laws, and these guys are appointing judges that the people can't elect. You can tell who the crooked judges are. If they're helping the criminals steal houses from the people, then they're with the criminals.
You know, this reminds me of the country called Iraq.
Oh, yeah?
When Sudan was in power. He appointed the judges.
Oh.
Okay? So what happened is they made decisions on based on what he wanted.
Sure, yeah.
Okay?
Because they're appointed,
Yeah, they're appointed. And they're under the gun, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to keep their jobs, they have to do it.
They have to do. And when you get organized crime involved in politics, with the lawmakers, good grief, the people don't have a chance.
But here's the ironic part. is that they turned against him only when United States invaded Iraq, right?
Yeah.
And arrested Sudan,
Yeah.
right? So then they sentenced him to be hanged, right?
Mm.
And so it's very ironic that here um, the judges got hired, appointed by Sudan, and yet they caused his death. When you think about it, that shows that they'll do anything who is overpowers them.
Yeah.
That's the power of appointing somebody.
And then when
It's like having a murder for hire, quite frankly,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Yep. And what we just read about the criminal says they plot evil with deceit in their heart. They always stir up dissension, trying to control people by threatening and terrorizing. And it says, therefore, disaster will overtake him in an instant, and he will suddenly be destroyed without remedy.
Right.
That sounds like death.
You know, another person that
could
did
be
that
death.
a lot was Chuck Tottle, Ethics Commission.
Say what?
Chuck Tottle, he was the administrator, executive for the Ethics Commission.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he overstepped his boundaries. He became judge and jury.
Oh, really?
Yep. He was executive for Ethics Commission of the City County of Honolulu.
Oh.
And then his wife is also a chief, associate chief justice, Nakamura.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But you have to feel sorry for him because here's a guy that's so proud and his wife is much more prominent than he is, right? And so, but anyway, he became, in his mind, whereby he wanted to be judge and jury.
Oh.
So he gave out information during the investigation before it was concluded.
Oh.
And he accused people in terms of violating ethical laws of the city. You know, and that's why I think he was released in terms of his position. You know, actually he quit. You know, he
Because
felt,
they told him he had to. That's
Yeah.
why.
right, and then he was a bad egg. You know, and he created evidence that was falsified also too.
Wow.
You know, so I know because when he tried to investigate me, I gave him evidence on my records, concrete. He refused it.
Oh, boy. See, then
Yeah.
look what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you give too much power to people,
Yeah.
right?
And they're appointed, yeah.
And then I was told that Nakamura's cousin was Dan Inouye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I know Dan didn't like me for years, basically. And
Because you messed up some of his private deals. he
oh
had.
yeah, and
had
that
his
Kukui
money.
Gardens
Yeah.
and so forth, right? And Huna Street. But you know, I have no regrets at all, and I'm willing to tell the story to people. And I have nothing to hide, nothing to fear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, God can, you know, God's in control.
Yeah.
And we don't take revenge, but
Right.
people should be afraid of
Well,
what God can do.
They did find a weak link to me to make me forced to take a no contest within the allegation of the $600 of bookkeeping errors. Was that they went after my wife?
Really?
Yeah, and they alleged that there was misspending in the campaign because there were receipts from McDonald's
Yeah, right.
on kids' meals. And they said, how come you have receipts from McDonald's for kids' meals? I said, well, I have senior citizens help me. They buy kids' meals
Yeah.
because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And I said, I have kids who happen to be grandchildren that helping their grandparents help me campaign, so I take them to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Right? And
Of
they said, oh,
course.
we don't believe you. We're going to charge
Oh.
your wife with a felony unless, Rod, you take a no contest plea.
Oh, my goodness.
And then
They
to hire an
threatened you.
attorney, like you said, costs big money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they want to bankrupt me. They
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
me to get sell my home and be homeless.
Man.
And so, you know, in a way, they had leverage on me. So I was forced to take the no contest plea.
To protect your wife.
Protect my wife. And
Yeah.
ironically, here's what happened. Because I opposed demolishing of Kukui Gardens, I also had to do community service in order to get that no contest, right? plea. And they put me in Hawaii Housing Authority.
All right.
And ironically, here I save affordable rental housing, 860 units, and they put me there doing community service. I became more of a arch supporter of affordable rental housing because there, at that time, was 4 years ago, there was 10,000 on the waiting list for
Wow.
affordable rental housing in the state of Hawaii over a 6-year period.
6
Today,
years.
today there's 25,000 on the
Wow.
waiting list. So the state of Hawaii, the city and county of Honolulu, and the federal government hasn't done a single thing to supply homes that are affordable or rentals that are affordable at all. Okay, they depend on the private sector construction company, but they're not going to provide it. And then guess what? The city council, the legislature gives them exemptions, right? Exemptions in terms of having a certain percentage of affordable units,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
how they force them to do it. Yeah.
right? Right, because the state of Hawaii, the city, and the federal don't want to build anymore.
They
right?
don't want to.
They don't want to build.
Not their own. Yeah. They
Yeah.
want the private people
Yeah,
to do
they
it.
want
yeah.
the private, and so even Kaka'aku, which was my area before as a city councilman, they shouldn't have built all those high rises because the infrastructure is really bad.
Mm.
The water system, the sewage line, the drainage system, it backs up when it rains. By the way,
Oh man.
so there was political deals made to build the construction there. Okay, now they said affordable unit 1 bedroom is $500,000.
That's affordable.
That's
huh?
affordable.
1 bedroom.
Yeah, and now you have to put down 20% for down payment. That's $100,000. Who has $100,000, right?
Yeah, affordable. That's not affordable.
That's
We
not
have 30
affordable.
seconds
Yeah.
left too.
So, but anyway, I wanted to give out my phone number.
Yeah. Why don't
And
you?
people do call me.
Yeah.
If you want to know about government more, be free to call me.
Yeah.
And I want to help to people resolve their government problems. My phone number is area code 808-216-5454. 216-5454. And people ask me, why am I running for office again? Well, it's my choice to do community service.
Hey, that's it.
Thank
man.
you very
That's
much.
awesome. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you. Thank
God
you.
bless you too.
Yeah.
Okay.